Hello, viewers. In this tutorial, we will guide on how you can create purchase order in SAP. Let's have a look at all the points that we need to understand that how we can create purchase order in SAP. Before we get into the details of scheduling a job using factory calendar, let's understand the requirements in the next slide. A purchase order is a formal letter that the purchasing organization sends to the supplier or vendor to request the delivery of a specific amount of goods or services at a specific period. When it is known which supplier or vendor will fulfill the order, this technique is utilized to establish the purchase order. We will now go through the steps to create purchase order in SAP. First, enter T-code ME21N in the command field or go to SAP menu, Logistics, Material Management, Purchasing, Purchase Order, Vendor/Supplying Plant Known. Then choose Standard PO as the order type on the Create Purchase Order screen. Three sections are present on the SAP Purchase Order screen: Header, Item Overview, Item Detail. Information like vendor, document date, purchasing organization, purchasing group, and company code are included in Purchase Order Header section. Information in Item Overview includes things like material, PO quantity, delivery date, net price, plant, storage location, batch, etc. Image. Item Details area includes information that will apply to a specific line item in the purchase order, such as material data, quantity/weights, delivery schedule, conditions, etc. You can enter the data manually or copy an existing purchase order or purchase requisition. Click on Document Overview on. The screen on the left side will be displayed. Go to Selection Variant and choose Purchase Orders. On the Purchasing Documents selection screen, enter the selection criteria and hit Enter. The relevant purchase orders will be displayed. Choose the one which you want to copy from and click on Adopt button or drag and drop it to the shopping cart. All data will be copied. You have to adjust the delivery date and other data if required. In case you want to create the new purchase order without copying the data from the existing one, the following fields must be filled out in the header section. Vendor. The information on the purchasing organization, purchasing group, and company code on the Organizational Data tab. Press Enter button. The purchase order includes multiple tabs at the header level. Most important will be explained here. The Delivery/Invoice tab contains information regarding payment and trading terms. Information regarding prices and conditions at the header level can be located within the Conditions tab. The Text tab is utilized to manage header level text. The vendor address data can be found in the Address tab. The collective number and VAT registration number of the vendor can be found in the Additional Data tab. The Partners tab in a purchase order in SAP is useful for tracking and managing key stakeholders involved in the purchasing process. This feature permits users to assign different partner functions to certain people or companies. Partner functions can include vendors, forwarding agents, and goods suppliers. The Status tab providing information regarding the order's status. The left side block displays the current status of activities, including active status and the confirmation of purchase orders not yet sent, as well as delivery and invoice statuses. On the right side is a report containing data on still to deliver quantities and values, invoiced quantities and values, and down payment information. There are also additional tabs available that contain information about communication and payment processing. Once you checked the header data, you can proceed with the information on item level. Enter the necessary details for the specific line item in the fields provided below in the Item Overview section. Item number, material, short text, PO quantity, O1, order per unit, delivery date, net price, only if no pricing conditions, model, group, material group code, plant, S-lock, storage location. In the Item Detail section, you can see the details of the particular line item. The Material Data tab in the Purchase Order screen of SAP contains important information related to the material that is being purchased. This tab includes data such as material group, supplier material number, and in some cases bill of material data. Each line item can also have additional information such as batch numbers and any other relevant information that needs to be tracked. The Quantities and Weights tab in the Purchase Order screen of SAP contains data about the quantity, weight, and volume of an item that is being purchased. The Delivery Schedule tab in the Purchase Order screen in SAP allows users to view information about the delivery of goods, such as dates of delivery, good receipted quantities, and a purchase requisition number if applicable. On the Delivery tab, you can set up over and under delivery tolerance, stock type, quality control key, delivery completion. Let's explain some of the important fields of this tab. The over-delivery tolerance limit refers to the percentage, based on the order quantity, that an over-delivery of this item will be accepted. The under-delivery tolerance limit percentage of this item is determined by the order quantity, indicating the maximum amount of under-delivery that is acceptable. Unlimited indicator specifies whether unlimited over-delivery can be accepted for the item. The stock type field determines where the material is placed during goods received, quality stock, unrestricted, restricted, etc. The QA control key is an important component of the quality inspection process within the QN system. Number of days for first reminder/expeditor. This refers to the specific number of days that will be used as the time interval for issuing reminders or urging letters/messages to the vendor. The planned delivery time in days refers to the amount of calendar days required to obtain externally procured materials or services. The goods receipt processing time in days field defines the number of workdays needed to inspect and store received materials. The goods received indicator determines if an item involves a goods receipt. The setting of the indicator determines the relevance of the item to inventory management. The indicator is automatically activated when creating an purchase order. The goods receipt, non-valuated indicator specifies that the goods receipt for the item should not be valuated. This is useful when goods receipts involving this material are not to be valuated. The purchase order item will be valued during invoice verification. The delivery completed indicator signifies that the item should be considered closed. The Invoice tab in the Purchase Order screen in SAP contains below fields. The Invoice Receipt indicator indicates if an invoice receipt is connected to the purchase order item. If the indicator is not set, the goods are to be delivered without charge. The Final Invoice indicator signifies the receipt of the last vendor invoice for an item, or the expectation of no further invoices. GR-based invoice verification. Indicator specifying that provision has been made for goods receipt-based invoice verification for a purchase order item or invoice item. The tax code is a category that is necessary to consider when submitting a tax return to the appropriate authorities. Each country has its own unique tax codes. Table is used to store the calculation rules and additional features for each tax code. The Conditions tab in Purchase Orders is used to capture the terms of the purchasing agreement between a buyer and seller. In SAP, conditions can be added to purchase orders to define the pricing, discounts, delivery cost, and other important details. In Item Conditions tab, it is possible to conduct a determination analysis of conditions to ensure accurate pricing. You can do it by clicking on Analysis. In cases where the pricing has been altered during the processing of a purchase order, it may be necessary to update the purchase order with the new prices. You can achieve it by clicking on Update button. You can see their multiple options, as shown in the pic. The Text tab in a purchase order displays different text types. This can be used to provide detailed information about the purchase order, such as descriptions of goods and services being purchased, payment terms, delivery dates, and other details. When creating a purchase order in SAP, the Delivery Address tab allows users to enter different shipping addresses and vendor information for the delivery of goods. This is useful for organizations that need to ship goods to multiple locations or vendors. The Confirmation tab in Purchase Order contains information confirmation control and order acknowledgement. The Confirmation Control key determines the necessary confirmation categories for PO items, including order acknowledgements and shipping notifications. The appropriate key should be entered based on the agreed confirmation categories with the vendor. Selecting Acknowledgement Requirement and entering a key allows for the sending of messages to vendors requesting overdue order acknowledgements, acknowledgement expeditors. But other confirmation categories cannot be expedited through this method. The order acknowledgement number is the vendor's acknowledgement of the purchase order. The order acknowledgement requirement determines whether the purchasing document requires acknowledgement from the vendor. To confirm receipt of the purchase order, an acknowledgement can be requested from the vendor. If an acknowledgement has not been received by a certain date, the system will send a message requesting submission of an acknowledgement. Once you complete filling in all required data, you can save the purchase order. Thank you for watching, and we hope this demonstration helped you to understand that how we can create purchase order in SAP.